Okay, now we're going to move on and talk about the courses you would take for your actual first semester here at RPI. So earlier in the guide, we talked about saving the degree template to a safe place. So we're going to go to that place on your computer right now, and we're going to open that up. So what we're looking at is the nuclear engineering template. This is your 4-year degree plan, and these are the classes you'll take to graduate with a nuclear engineering degree from RPI in 4 years. If you're looking at this, it really looks like there's not a lot of flexibility in this plan because it's very rigid looking and we have it very rectilinear, and it looks like you have to take these courses in this order. And I just want to stress to you that there's way more flexibility in this plan than it appears by looking at it at first glance, and we often pull things in from subsequent semesters and we move classes around all the time, and we may indeed suggest to do that for you for this first semester. So first of all, I want to stress there's flexibility. And then secondly, before we zoom in on your first semester, I want to go down to the bottom of this template, and you're going to see a whole lot of footnotes. The Mechanical, Aerospace, and Nuclear Engineering Department loves their footnotes. So you can see there's a whole bunch here. They're numbered, and the numbers correspond to the numbers in the individual semester templates. So you'll be able to see those corresponding numbers and read about that information on your own time. Now we're going to zoom in, and we're going to look at your actual first semester and the classes we're going to take for that first semester. So first of all, we always have you take a bunch of what we call core engineering classes, and those are the fundamental math, science, and engineering classes that you take for any engineering degree at RPI. And the core engineering classes your first semester will start off with math. So if you have no AP credits at all, and as you look at the template as it's written here, it's designed for students who have no AP credits at all or college credits that they're transferring in. So the math class we're going to take in that case would be Calc 1. And then we would also take Physics 1. And then the last class we're going to talk about for now, the next class, is your Haas class. And Haas stands for Humanities, Arts, and Social Science. And I'm going to draw your attention to the prefix on this course. It says IHSS. And what that means is it's an interdisciplinary humanities, arts, and social science class. Those are special classes we set aside for first-year students. They're referred to also as Haas inquiry classes, and you'll need to take one of those in your first 2 semesters. So if you don't take one this first semester, you'll need to take one in the spring. I draw your attention to that because if you can hop into one of those the first semester, you'll have that requirement done with. So far we've got math, we've got science, and we've got Haas. Next, there's a 1-credit engineering class called Engineering 1200, which is engineering, graphics, and CAD. Now, if this class does not fit in your schedule this first semester, no worries. If it doesn't fit, if there's conflicts and you can't take it, or if it's closed when you go to register, no worries. We can easily put that off into the future. If you can get in it, great. If not, please don't worry about it. And the final class I want to talk about is this engineering class called Engineering 1100, which is Introduction to Engineering Analysis. Now, in some schools, that's also called statics because it refers to the physics of things that don't move, which is things that are static. Realize that I used the word physics there. That's because it's really the physics of engineering. Now, if you don't have a great physics background, if you maybe struggled with physics in high school, I'm going to suggest that you put that class off to the second semester, and here's why. Research has shown us, and students have told us anecdotally for many years, that if they did not have a good background in Physics 1, they tend to struggle in IEA, Introduction to Engineering Analysis. And what we want you to leave the first semester at RPI with is a feeling of success and a feeling that at the end of the first semester, academically, I've totally got this. So I don't want you to struggle in that class. So if you have what you feel like is not a great background in physics, I'm going to suggest that you put IEA off to the second semester, and instead I'm going to recommend that you move Chemistry 1 instead into that first semester. Now you might be saying to yourself, 2 science classes? Do I actually want to take 2 science classes in that first semester? I'm going to suggest yes, because if you don't feel good about physics, I really don't want you to take IEA, and I think it's better to take Chemistry 1 that first semester and put IEA off until the second semester. So those are the classes that you would look to take if you really aren't bringing in AP credits. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about what your schedule would like and how we would handle it if you do bring in AP credits. In that case, a lot of students will bring in Calculus 1. If you have AP credit for Calculus 1, or if you have IB credit or other transfer credit for Calculus 1, we're going to cross that right out, and we're going to simply move over Calculus 2 from the spring semester into the fall. So instead of Calc 1, we'll take Calc 2, and everything else will remain the same. Now, if you have credit for Physics 1, this might seem counterintuitive, but I'm actually going to suggest that instead of moving Physics 2 into your first semester, I would suggest taking Chemistry 1 instead and taking Physics 2 your second semester, only because Physics 2 has a well-known reputation at RPI as being a bit of a beast of a class. And so I'm reluctant to suggest that in your first semester. Now, having said that, in my experience, one of the things that all nuclear engineering students have in common is typically they really like physics. It's a physics-heavy major. So if you have credit for AP Physics 1 and you love physics, feel free to go ahead and take Physics 2 that first semester. I'm certainly not going to overrule you on that. As a general rule, I think Physics 2 is difficult here the first semester, but if you're confident, you go with that, and you can absolutely take Physics 2. Now, if you have any Haas, humanities, arts, or social science AP credits, that's no problem. You can transfer in 2 of those, and we're going to cover Haas credits extensively in a video that you're going to watch in a few minutes. I just want to say simply at this point, if you've got Haas credits, you can absolutely still take one of those IHSS courses, those Haas inquiry courses the first semester. And in fact, the AP credit has no bearing on that, and I would absolutely do that. So AP credit's not going to give you a hard time there. Now, if you have a lot of AP credit and this does not cover your particular individual situation, I'm going to suggest that you reach out to me and let's talk. You'll find my contact information in a bunch of places in the guide that you're reading, and just reach out to me. I'm here all summer long. One other thing I want to mention before we wrap up is that you're going to see in the spring semester this class called Introduction to Nuclear Engineering. And you might be saying to yourself, hey, I'm a nuclear engineering student. I want to take that my first semester. I can't get into CAD, or I want to put CAD off, or it doesn't fit in my schedule. Can I please move that over from spring? Well, unfortunately, I wish that you could, because it's a cool class for nukes to take, but it's only offered in the spring semester. So we're going to make sure that we work that into your schedule for spring, and you and I will be meeting at some point during the fall semester to nail down your spring schedule, and we're going to make sure that you are able to take that in the spring. So that pretty much covers your first semester. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, or you're just not sure about your AP credits and how to apply them, please reach out. Don't hesitate to give me a call or shoot me an email. Look forward to hearing from you.